Today on GardenFork, I show you this really neat drip irrigation system for your garden. Ready? Here we go. Welcome to GardenFork Gardening Labradors. This is one of our new raised beds we just put in. We made a video about that, link at the end of the show there. And I have a couple other videos about some soaker hose watering systems, drip irrigation for your garden. I don't like spending hours out here manually gardening, and a lot of the water runs off anyway. Kind of a slow drip, getting to the roots kind of system works really well. And we've gotten some older soaker hose systems, and since this is a new bed, I thought I'd put in new hose, and I have a new idea for kind of a distribution manifold. So I wanted to show you that today on GardenFork. Ready?
You have a new idea?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it all winter. I've been looking at the beds, and I thought, let's make a better system here. How unusual. All right, we'll throw the ball for the Labradors and then get to work. So step one is to go buy some soaker hose. It usually comes in 50-foot lengths. Unroll it in the sun to let it uncoil, because it's been in this tight round thing for who knows how long. You heat it up and unroll it, and it goes nice and straight like this does. There's also different diameters, and that's going to affect the diameters of the hardware we're going to use. This is a 1/2-inch one, but some of the newer hoses, at least in the stores I saw, they're all selling 3/8, but either one, it works, okay? All right, step one again, go get your ball. If you get the ball, throw it.
Henry, step one is find the ball.
Go get the ball, go on. Okay, while she's looking, I want to put 5 long sets of soaker hose in this bed. So I'm going to first measure the bed, because I like to measure.
You do?
To figure out, that's a joke because I'm really bad at measuring.
Oh.
To figure out how long to each make length of hose, okay?
Why do you want 5 rows of hose?
I found that works best for whatever I'm planting. You know, if I'm planting less stuff, I can always cap off some of the lengths of hose, but 5 hoses going down will cover lettuce, it'll cover squash and vegetables, it'll do tomatoes. It does whatever we do, so.
All right. It's not too hot for that?
So before you go cutting your 12-foot lengths, this is the beginning of the hose, the inlet here. Take about 3, 4, 6 inches and cut this here, and then save this, okay? Learn from me.
Save it. Now
cut your 12-foot lengths. I got 4 of these cut. I have to cut 1 more. I had to buy 2 lengths of soaker hose because it comes in 50-foot lengths, and we're going to need over 60 feet of hose. So think about that when you're planning, so you don't make 3 trips to the hardware store like somebody did.
You ain't 3 trips to the hardware store?
I always make 3 trips. It's just kind of, that's my middle name. Eric, 3 trips to the hardware store. So this is a 3/8 hose. So I went to the agricultural supply store and got 3/8 hose connectors. You might have to search around for all of them. I got T connectors and elbow connectors, and these very simply connect in like that. So for my first one here, this is at 0 and that's at 10 inches here. And then I have some scrap hose, so I'm just going to eyeball that roughly. And I'm just going to cut it with a pair of wire cutters. It cuts really easily. And then I'm going to put this on here. And then I'm going to put this onto the next one. It goes in easily. It really helps to do this in the sun on a hot summer day.
It is.
Cold does not work well with hose. So then my second lateral here is going to connect like that. And now I'm going to do that for the rest of these. Measuring always helps.
Are we going to talk about when the best time is to turn on your soaker hose? What time of day?
Yeah, it's best actually to water in the early morning. That way, if there's like water on the leaves, it dries off in the summer sun. You don't want to water at the end of the day, because then if there's water on the leaves, it can turn into mold.
Oh, dog.
So this is going to be our last connection here, or our last lateral. So that's just going to go in like that. We have a Labrador wants the ball thrown. And then this is the end where the supply hose is going to connect. And this goes on the end like that. And then this is going to get at the end of the bed and connect our hose to this. If you find the water pressure is too high and these are popping apart, you can use clamps, or I just use some lightweight wire. This is an aluminum wire, but some lightweight wire you get at the store. Loop it around and then twist it with the pliers and tighten that up like that. By the way, if you don't want to do the wire thing, you can just do cable ties as well. This is kind of oversized, but it's the smallest cable ties I had, but you can buy a packet of small cable ties. I had my glasses on, I could see what I'm doing here. But this, you want to put it up at the top or at the end of the hose. Tighten that up. Take your pliers, cut that.
I like that better.
Yeah. So what do you do with the other end that's wide open like this? Well, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can take 3/8 dowel, like I did. I gotta throw the ball, sorry. 3/8 dowel rod works really well here. Or with some brands of hose, you can bend the hose over on itself and tie it like that. It depends on the hose. Some of mine work like that, some of mine don't.
Ideally, you do this in the early spring so that you don't crush the existing plants.
Right.
Is it going to the very end of the bed as predicted?
Yeah.
Oh.
At the end of our garden beds, I always put trellises with like sugar snap peas or string beans or something like that. So the soaker hoses are going lateral and the trellis is going perpendicular to that. So at the end of the bed, I always put a perpendicular soaker hose. A lot of times also, this is the end of the hose with a cap. I leave this on at the end of the bed in case I want to hook another soaker hose onto it for the next bed. But for now, I'm going to use an elbow connector for one of our laterals and run this along the pea trellis. Right along my sugar snap peas. Well, it's a little long, so I got to cut it. So this is the lateral coming down the bed. And this is my cross piece, so I'm just going to connect that. So now this goes along our trellis here. And here's our garden hose. There are a number of ways to connect your garden hose. We have a previous video about soaker hoses where we run hoses underground, and we'll link to that at the end of the show. Very interesting stuff. But again, the flow restrictor is in there. Don't take out that little washer that's in there. And now we're going to turn this on, see how it works.
Bless you. It's on.
Water timers, I think, are really important. I don't water the garden every day. I check the moisture level. I usually water it 2 or 3 times a week, depending on how much rain we've had. But the water timer is great. It turns on at like 6:30 in the morning. It does make some weird noises, the soaker hose sometimes. But I'll link in the show notes here to some water timers I like. Some of them are just awful to program. Some of them are a little bit easier. None of them are perfect. All right? So let me know what you guys think in the show notes below. We put out DIY eclectic DIY videos, that is, every week. If you want to subscribe, more information about me and GardenFork is in the show notes below here, and the other soaker hose irrigation video I talked about. All right, make it a great day. I'll see you later.